Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us, and we're back with Sheriff Wehrly, and we've been talking about a lot of things with the Sheriff's Office, but there's so much more that we can talk about that we haven't covered yet. We haven't covered the detention center. We haven't covered the Canine section. It's just a lot of things that are going on with our Nye County Sheriff's Office that many people are just unaware of. We also want to put up some numbers. If you ever want to just call and ask questions, or if you want to say, Sheriff, we love what you're doing, you want to give her some kudos, go ahead and write down the number and call in and just say thanks to our sheriff for all she's doing. And for her deputies and all the people that are working in the Nye County Sheriff's offices. They're not all police officers. They have civilians that work there as well.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so they're all part of this as well. They're the people that make it work as well. So, Sheriff, tell us something about, well, we want to go to the detention center, but tell us about your canines.
Well, we have 2 handlers certified, along with 2 dogs.
Okay.
We have another 5 or 6 dogs that went through training just recently and are waiting to be blessed by the judge. We don't have our own judge. And so in order to get certified, you have to go through the testing process with a certified judge.
Okay.
And that judge is out of Henderson.
Okay.
So we haven't gotten that done yet for the rest of the dogs, but we do have 2 up and running.
Now, the dogs that are certified, what are they certified to do, and what's their specialties?
Well, we've double specialized our dogs. We have 1 dog that is a search and rescue dog.
Okay.
And that dog is also a drug dog.
Okay.
We have 1 that is a bomb dog and is also a drug dog. So everybody's a drug dog, but then there are also patrol dogs.
Okay.
So the rest of them fit into that classification. They're drug dogs and patrol dogs.
That's truly outstanding. I know in the Air Force, when I talked to the Canine section in the Air Force, I know how they got their dogs. How do you get your dogs? Well,
we've been buying from a kennel that Metro uses.
Okay.
And those dogs come directly from overseas.
Oh, okay.
And we've gone to Malinois. We are not using German Shepherds any longer. And that's because of the hip dysplasia problem.
Okay, and what's the type dog that you're using?
It's a Malinois.
I have never heard of that. Malinois.
You'll love them.
Do they look like German Shepherds at all?
Somewhat.
Okay. I guess I looked at all the dogs and said, yeah, like the German Shepherd, close enough. Okay. Okay, let's talk some about the detention center now.
Well, when I arrived on scene, the detention center needed a little bit of help.
Okay.
And we've been working on that. We've now gone through 3 academies, so all of our people are certified as Category 3. The difference between the Category 3 that we were doing and the Category 3 that we are doing now is that they're trained for that facility.
Okay.
The policies and procedures for that facility have been completely redone and reflect that facility only.
Okay. Now, your facility can handle how many, I won't call them inmates, but what do you call them?
You can call them inmates, because that's what we call them.
Okay. So how many inmates can...
Or detainees.
Detainees, I think I'd rather say that.
Okay. Actually, it's about 242.
That's the capacity?
That's the capacity. But then after you classify people, that cuts the beds down, because they have to fit in certain classifications in order to go into that particular area.
Ah, okay.
So you may have more of one classification than another, and that area fills up.
I got you. Okay.
So if your next arrest, that person is classified in a different area that has a bed open, that's fine. If they don't, then we have to move them. And today we have about 188 detainees.
Okay, so...
And so that leaves us about, well, actually about 14 beds open.
Now, when you talk about categories, how many different categories are there?
There's 5.
Okay. So you could have category 5 filled up and 1, 2, 3, and 4 almost empty. Mm-hmm. Oh, gee. Now, what about what was happening in Tonopah? Do you still have facility there?
Yes. The people in Tonopah came down for all of the training.
Okay.
And we expanded that so that the training also encompassed the facility in Tonopah. So our detention facility is the facility in Pahrump and the facility in Tonopah.
Okay.
Now, even though the facility in Tonopah was shut down as far as a detention facility, it's still a holding facility.
Okay.
So we can hold people for 24 to 48 hours there.
Because of that, now we can get into about how many people you have total in your department.
Well, sworn people, we have 103 slots.
When you say sworn, you're talking about the ones who wear the badges.
Yes.
And wear guns. Mm-hmm. Okay, 103.
Mm-hmm. And about 35 other people.
Okay, and these are the ones that we see in the police cars and all around. You also have an auxiliary.
Yes, they're wonderful. We couldn't work without them.
Well, I agree with that, because many times when we need things, we call the sheriff's office and say, well, the auxiliary can do this or that, traffic control, and a lot of other things.
Oh, it's great. We have dedicated people not only doing that type of thing, but they've also started up Neighborhood Watch.
Okay.
Again, and they've got a team that does the traffic. They plan traffic control.
Okay.
It's called TIMS. It's great. And we're sending more people to that class.
About how many people do you have volunteering in the auxiliary program?
There's about 32 now.
Okay. Because I met so many of them, just outstanding people. Now, this is the first time that I have seen a female sheriff. So, police officers, what's your ratio of male-female?
Oh, golly. I never really thought about it, but it's probably 10 to 1.
Okay.
Somewhere along in there.
I have to say, before you were elected, I was wondering how a woman sheriff would be able to handle Nye County.
Just fine, thank you.
And I have to say that, and that's one of the things I looked at. I know I've worked with women officers when I was on active duty, and a friend of mine happened to be she retired as a 3-star general, and she and I were majors together. What happened to me? I don't know.
You didn't get on the general's list.
I did not get on the general's list. In fact, let's see, I was lieutenant colonel, but I was a major when she put on lieutenant colonel. Then she put on colonel, and I put on lieutenant colonel. Then she put on brigadier general, and I stayed at lieutenant colonel. I was offered colonel, but I had 32 years and decided that was enough. I wanted to use my doctorate degree, so I retired. But she and I remain friends. Even today, we still communicate with each other.
I work for a lot of full bird colonels.
So it's I've seen what women can do, and I've seen how they add to getting the job done. So, and that's exactly what you've done as sheriff. So I really appreciate you being there.
Thank you.
So, and I haven't heard, now I know that the people are going to say bad things about anybody. I have not heard any bad things about our sheriff. So maybe
You're just watching the wrong TV show, that's all.
I mentioned to her before we went on the air that I had not been to the commissioners' meeting in a while, so I don't know what's going on there, but I'm sure to ask after this show. I'm sure I'll get some calls and say, well, look, I heard the sheriff was doing this, this, and this, and you didn't talk about that. So call the sheriff and let her know next time that she's on my show that she should cover some of these other areas that you're interested in. And that's why we put the phone number on the screen, so you can call. Give her the kudos to let her know that we all know she's doing a fantastic job, and the fact that there are other things that you'd like to hear about from Nye County Sheriff's Office. We've talked about the Canine, we've talked about the Detention Center, we've talked about the number of people that she's got working this vast county. Nye County is the third largest county in the entire United States, and she has control over all of that. So she's doing an awesome job. Let her know it.
There is one thing I do want to bring up.
Yes.
We have a police officer review board.
Okay.
And we have 8 people that have been going through our class. Mm-hmm. And they'll be graduating on the 31st at the, oh golly, I think that Pam has decided to have it at the chamber.
Okay. And is that open to the public?
It's open to the public.
Oh, outstanding. So they should read the newspapers and
Right.
and watch local TV and get all this information.
And get all this information.
Outstanding. And if they wanted to serve on that board, would they be able to?
Yes, she's taking applications for alternates.
Oh, this is fantastic. Is that something that you wanted, that you approved of?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, we're doing the training.
That's even better.
I think they're enjoying it. You might want to interview 1 or 2 of them and just see how they felt about it.
Okay, nothing confidential in the training?
No.
Okay, so after the show, you can go and give me some names and I can contact them, or should I contact Pam?
Why don't you contact Pam?
Okay, Pam would know exactly who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as we're winding down on this section, is there anything that you'd like to cover for Nye County Sheriff's Office?
Not really. We have a very transparent sheriff's office. We give tours. We had a wedding in our jail here a couple days ago.
Oh.
The NRS requires us to allow people to get married, and so this is our 3rd wedding.
Okay. Who performs the weddings?
The clergyman of their choice.
Oh, okay. Now, when you say you give tours, on giving tours, how do you sign up for a tour?
Well, you come in and request, and when we have enough time,
Is it
we
one-on-one
schedule it.
or is it group?
No,
or?
it can be groups. We have children come in all the time.
Oh, great. So you work with the schools?
Yes.
Oh, this is outstanding. Look, so much and so much more that we could talk to Sheriff Wehrly about. I am just so glad that she was able to be here today. We have just a lot of things going on. She's here, and we want to make sure that you have contact with our sheriff. So again, we have the phone numbers, and if you want to contact her to give kudos, to say something, or if you have questions or anything else, that way you can call and talk to Sheriff Wehrly. And Sheriff, I thank you for being here today.
Thank you. And I'm sorry if I don't get back to people as quickly as you'd like.
This is it. We're going to see you next time. Thank you.
Okay.